This is the American Business Podcast for the Next Generation, ABP, with Kevin DeVecchi. ABP is a popular business podcast with thousands of subscribers on YouTube. The American Business Podcast community is growing fast. Thank you for your support. Subscribe ABP's YouTube channel today. The American Business Podcast is coming to you from the center of the global business world, New York City, with new educational business content is coming to you every week. Visit the official website for more information and corporate sponsorship opportunities at www.americanpodcast.tv today. Now, the American Business Podcast ABP's new episode is starting.
Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin DeVecchi, your host. I'm welcoming you to episode 92. We are getting close to our goal of this year of 100 every single week. Right now we are in episode 92 in season 3. And today's number is 98.6. That is the size of the market of US licensed merchandise. As you know, we have an online networking event called the Connection America Business Alliance, hosted by the American Business Podcast. This month's online networking event is scheduled on November 21st at 10 a.m. That's a great opportunity for you to introduce your business, your products, and services. And what is unique about this online business networking event is you'll be able to network with other business professionals. At the same time, you'll be live on the American Business Podcast. At the American Business Podcast, we share educational content, and at the same time, with this monthly online networking event, we help you connect with other business professionals. So we are expanding our mission to make sure we deliver more benefits to our audience and to our listeners. I hope you join us. I have the QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, it'll take you to our registration page, and you can put in your information, and you can join us on November 21st. We have limited seating, and if you're interested, today is a great time to register and be in the online networking event on November 21st. Okay, great. Well, why don't we invite our guest, and why don't we get the conversation started at the American Business Podcast. As you know, the American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. Let's invite our guest and let's get the conversation started. Hello, Taylor. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
How are you? How was your weekend?
Great weekend. A lot of college football, a lot of NFL football. We put up our holiday decorations.
All right. Yes, it is on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Thank you.
That's great. Well, holiday season is here,
Right.
and we are also very excited at the American Business Podcast. You know, the year is ending, and we are all getting ready for the new year, and that's a great opportunity for giving at the same time with the Thanksgiving, with the Christmas and other holiday season. It's a pretty special time, and time really flies. It feels like I just celebrated last year's holidays yesterday, but so time really goes fast.
It sure does. It sure does. We're here again.
Yes, that's true. Very exciting. And you are based in what part of US?
Las Vegas.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Well, why don't we get started if that's okay?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's start with introductions. Why don't you introduce yourself and your organization briefly to our audience and to our listeners, please?
My name's Taylor Scott. I'm the president and founder of Lead with Hospitality LLC, and that is a boutique leadership development consultancy. So after spending 20 years in the hospitality and entertainment industry, myself leading different lines of business on multiple levels of leadership, I found my true passion, which was to write and speak and inspire and encourage other leaders, up and coming leaders, as well as seasoned leaders. So for about the last 5 years or so since the pandemic, I've been writing books and creating leadership development programs and going out and helping leaders and teams transform jobs into truly meaningful work. So I spent my career working for the Walt Disney Company, Gaylord Hotels and Resorts, and then right here in Las Vegas for Wynn and Encore, as well as the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas. And so for the last several years, I've been out here as an entrepreneur, an author, speaker, and a consultant, building our business and working with leaders. So happy to be with you today talking about any and all of the above.
I appreciate it. Yes, you are actually, your positioning and your service is actually very exciting. So you have expertise in leadership and leadership building. At the same time, you have expertise in hospitality industry. That
Right.
is actually a great expertise that you have, that you are offering to businesses and business leaders.
That's right. Yeah. If people are interested in like, how does Disney do what they do, or how do they approach the things that they're able to create, the programs they're able to implement internally for their businesses, but also on the guest experience side, guests, customers, and clients. And the same goes for some of these hotel companies. So that's where we found success, is being able to look back at not only my experience, but my team. Like I've got a group, a community of collaborators and like-minded business partners that are also entrepreneurs and thought partners and authors and speakers. And many of us come from the same types of work, largely from the hospitality industry. So we're able to go in and really share and empathize with what today's leaders are going through, because in many ways, we've either been there, done that, or we understand and we have empathy for the types of challenges they have, and then certainly how to navigate them.
And you are also a published author. I'm a published author myself. I know how much work actually goes into it, how much time that you spend to create the books that you put together. Can you tell us about the books that you published?
Absolutely. Yeah, my first book was called Ball Games to Boardrooms: Leadership, Business, and Life Lessons from Our Coaches We Never Knew We Needed. And it's all about those lessons that we learned from our coaches when we played sports growing up, how we can apply those same lessons in our lives and in our jobs today as adults. That book was self-published back in 2017. So I learned a lot of lessons with that book. And then my next book was called Lead with Hospitality, which was sort of a passion project turned real life book, actually during the pandemic. And so this was more of a compilation of what I believe are sort of the 12 best lessons that I learned all those years working Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Wynn, and Encore in Las Vegas, the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, Gaylord Hotels early in my career, sort of a compilation of all the things that I learned. But most importantly, what I believe are the connecting threads, the common themes between gracious hospitality and inspirational leadership. And so from there, we built all of our leadership development content. And just this past summer, I have a third book that we put out into the world. And this one is a leadership fable this time. And it's all about the spirit of generosity. It's called Give Hospitality, a hopeful story of what happens when we live, work, and love from a place of generosity. And it's a story of a young up-and-coming leader named Summer Grace. She leaves a toxic job with a toxic boss, and she goes to work at a more magical place called Cowela Resorts. And the story is about her first 2 weeks on the job, when she and her newfound friends and colleagues about 20 of them that are starting their new career at Kauwela Resorts. They learn how Kauwela Resorts has been able to build such a positive and productive and inclusive workplace culture, such that everybody feels like they belong and they can bring their authentic best selves to work. And it's a Hawaiian theme, on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose. Kauwela means summertime in Hawaiian. And what I'm doing is I'm donating a portion of the proceeds in the spirit of generosity to the Hawaii Community Foundation's Maui Strong Fund that's been set up for the last couple of years to help with the rebuilding of the wildfires that happened in Lahaina Harbor on Maui.
Yeah, this is really touching. I also work with nonprofits myself, so I support nonprofits as much as I can because of the nature of my business. We offer software for nonprofits for donation management and volunteer management. That's how we got in touch with nonprofits. But the nonprofit world is really exciting, and it's really meaningful that you actually support them with the sale of your book. And how can our audience and listeners can get your book? Is it Amazon or any other website?
Yeah, all 3 books are available on Amazon, and the last 2, Lead with Hospitality and Give Hospitality, it's published by Matt Holt Books, which is an imprint of Ben Bella Books. So these 2 books are available Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, and wherever books are sold. So they're available in all the formats, Kindle, actual, hardcover, soft cover, and also on Audible. And available in audiobook across all 3 books.
This is great. Well, thank you for sharing this with us.
My pleasure.
And can you tell us about your career path a little bit? How did you get started? How your career path has unfolded over the years?
Yeah, my thing is I really got the hospitality bug. Like I figured out relatively early on in life that I wanted to be in the hospitality, travel, and tourism industry. So I interned at the Walt Disney World Resort down in Orlando, Florida. They have what's called the Walt Disney World College Program. So I went there every summer while I was an undergrad and worked a different role in the show: quick service food and beverage, attractions at Disney's Animal Kingdom, merchandise at Donald's Double Feature merchandise location at Disney's All-Star Movies Resort. And then I did a management internship at Disney's Contemporary Resort, 3 months as a housekeeping manager and 3 months as a front desk manager, all the while going to Disney University, taking some classes and some live learning experiences and workshops, much like the ones that I create and deliver today, learning how Disney approaches everything from their leadership philosophy, marketing, sales, finance, legal, communication. I remember classes like the art of communication. So really, really early on, I had the fortune to learn at a place like Walt Disney World. And then that just kept me becoming more and more curious as time went on. And that's what led me to all these other places and leaving Disney and going to get do my graduate work at the Cornell Hotel School, 3.5 hours north of you there in the city. Up at Cornell University, they have an MBA program focused in hospitality at the Cornell Hotel School. So I did that, really diving deeper and learning more of the finance and qualitative and quantitative pieces of how all this stuff works together. And that's how I ended up in Las Vegas in loyalty marketing, both at the Wynn and Encore, as well as the Cosmopolitan, where I just was able to put it all together and work with all the different functions in both of those resorts to make our loyalty marketing program work. And then from there, I just realized my passion, and that was writing, speaking, and really being this consultant or internal consultant for organizations, being the cheerleader of up and coming leaders, but also being a thought partner to seasoned leaders that might need a little like extra helping of pixie dust or a B12 shot back to their own morale and their own outlook and their own mindset, which turns into their own heart set and how they approach the work that they do. So that's sort of been the path, Cliff Notes version of how the last 25 years have unfolded.
Great summary. Truly appreciate it. You work with different leaders, especially in hospitality. And can you tell us about your daily work? What are the challenging and exciting part of your work on daily basis?
Yeah, today it's really a mixture of things. So as I'm a partner, to my clients. And they're as big as the largest airline in the history of aviation, for example, to sort of mid-size hotels, think 150 to 300 room properties all across the country. And then over the years, there have been several different types of organizations in hospitality, but also hospitality adjacent industries. So it's a combination of things, from just being their partner and helping them think through the strategy of their own leadership development programs that they have inside their organizations, all the way through to actually being their partner that gets out there with the people in their organizations. And I deliver workshops and even also keynote speeches that are part of events and conferences and conventions. And then I also have a team. There's like 12 of us that are out there. Like, some organizations have chosen to license some of our content that come from the Lead with Hospitality platform. And so we have crafted these experiences that really work for multiple different levels of leadership, and we cater them to the audience, to the brand, to the current situation that organization might be going through. So day to day, it's a combination of thinking strategy, helping them develop the strategy, but also being a part of the execution. And then, of course, any free time I have, I'm putting toward like what comes next. So like thinking about the next book, thinking about the next type of experience we can craft for our partners, for organizations that we want to help transform jobs into truly meaningful work. So it's really a combination of all the things I love to do, which is either writing, speaking, or encouraging, but also being strategic and thinking through how an organization or any given leader can really take some of these ideas and bring them to life out there day to day in their own organizations.
It's a powerful leadership that you put together with companies. That's great. How about the trends nowadays in leadership and leadership development?
Yeah, as far as trends, it's kind of like, I mean, it's probably a cop-out answer, but the more we're all out here, and especially in the work that I've been doing, just since, say, the pandemic, since 2020, things were really hard. Things were really uncertain in 2020, 2021, and then slowly but surely coming out of it. But as I sit here today, in 2025, winding down 25, getting ready for 2026, reflecting on this whole 25 years of navigating myself, a lot of the same things that today's leaders are having to navigate. It's like the more things change, the more things stay the same in terms of the things that are important. And so what I would say is the trends today, or better said, perhaps maybe the things that make work worthwhile, the things that transform regular jobs into this truly meaningful work, and also the things in leadership that separate the great leaders from the mediocre leaders, usually 9 times out of 10, come back to emotional intelligence in some way, shape, or form. So those are the 4 components of emotional intelligence: are self-awareness, how well we know ourselves, how well we know our own strengths, what gets us frustrated, what brings us joy; self-management, how well we're able to keep on an even keel. Even when things get stressful, can we remain calm and navigate, creating harmony among any given group of people? Social awareness, that speaks to empathy, which is a leadership skill, believe it or not, something I didn't even realize until I started doing this specific work. Empathy, the ability to, amid everything else going on, be able to stop and realize and think through and almost put ourselves in other people's shoes to sort of seek to understand what they might be thinking, what they might be feeling. Like, that's actually a skill that we got to practice. You put all 3 of those together: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and you get the 4th one, which is relationship management. And that's the ability to put all of that together to be the conductor as the leader and make sure that everybody on the team or everybody in the organization is putting their talents, their God-given strengths to the best of their abilities, put them all to use in this complementary fashion, such that together we all go further, quicker, sort of out of many comes this one sort of culture and this one, entity that's moving the organization or any given group's mission forward. So the trends, I would say, that were visible and tangible back in 2001 after the tragic events of 9/11 are the same trends and the same needs that we had in 2008, 2009, 2010 with the financial crisis. The same trends, the same needs that we needed during the pandemic, we're seeing that again right now. So much uncertainty. So many people are fighting for their lives to keep their jobs or to justify or validate their positions. And so now more than ever, this is a mental game. So we've got to help each other. We've got to help leaders with the tools, with the resources that are proven. They're proven that many that have come before us have proven that they work in terms of keeping the right mindsets, so that we keep the right heart sets, so that we keep showing up as best as we can to get through the day-to-day, not only for the betterment of our organizations, but to maintain our own mental health as well.
What is your take on AI? How do you see the impact of AI on business nowadays?
Yeah, it's certainly real, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. The more it's out here, the more I'm, along with everybody else, the more we're slowly but surely adopting it and trying to see what it can do and even using it in our day-to-day. You definitely see the value, time saved. You speak about, doing things quicker, like doing more with fewer resources, doing more in less time. Like that's all real when we can dive in and use AI. Conversely, on the other hand, for example, I do a lot of work with one of my alma maters at Cornell University. So I just got back from a trip there, and I spent 4 days working with leaders and teams at the Statler Hotel at Cornell University, which is the hotel, 153-room hotel on the campus of the Cornell Hotel School. But also I go and I speak to classes and I give back. I give my time and give back. I don't have I don't have millions of dollars to give. So one of the ways I chose 5 years ago to give back to school was just to go show up and to build community with the students and the professors and the leaders and teams there at the hotel. And I'm noticing from a student perspective now, and talking to some professors, that students that are in either undergrad or graduate school now, if you think about it, during the pandemic, they were in their formative years in high school or perhaps their early years in undergraduate studies. So they were having remote classes. They were already leveraging some of the technological advances. So in many ways, from the human perspective, we might be in a position with AI and all the advent of all this, incremental technology, we may very well find ourselves in a position that we're going to need to reteach and reshape and encourage the up and comers to rethink literally things like, how do you study? How do you put in the time? How do you do research such that you retain the information and understand, as opposed to just very surface level doing a quick chat GPT search or exercise to turn in the homework, do the paper, or ultimately put out any type of output. So there's pros and cons for sure. And I think much remains to be seen in terms of how much we're going to need to reteach and recoach. But I think one thing that we're never going to lose the value of is literally this, is one-on-one or in-person or even real-time connection, human connection, whether it's collaboration, strategizing, teaching, coaching, executing. In my heart of hearts, my gut feeling is that perhaps as we continue down the path with AI, I think the need is going to be greater and greater and greater for the human connection as a complement to the strides everybody's going to be able to make with the technology. So just like everything else, I believe in a balance here, a balanced approach.
Support for the American Business Podcast for the next generation ABP comes from the Marvelous CRM software. The Marvelous CRM software is an AI-powered marketing and business development software. It is for small and mid-sized companies. You can manage your prospects, customers, contacts. You can manage your sales pipelines to increase revenue. You can send unlimited emails. You can also manage and schedule your social media accounts. Moreover, the marvelous CRM software helps you design your company websites, online stores, and event registration websites on the same platform. The marvelous CRM software brings you a customer portal for you to manage your customers and members. The marvelous CRM software is modern, easy to use, secure, and affordable. Subscribe today and close more deals.
Have you had any role models, any mentors who have helped shape your career journey over the years?
For sure. Everybody from like growing up I grew up in Eastern Kentucky, where, like it's basketball, basketball coaches, my teachers, like my parents, my family. Like I come from a long line of school teachers. My mom was my kindergarten teacher. Both of my grandmothers were teachers. Two of my aunts, teachers and administrators. So that was really neat for me growing up at a foundational level, is having that support both on the basketball floor, but also in elementary, middle school, junior high, and high school. But also think about professors in undergrad and up at Cornell and my graduate studies. And then sure, there have been several leaders. Like I've had the fortune working at all these places, worked for some really great leaders, some really poor leaders, and several in between. And my message to anybody and everybody is, whether or not right now today you love your leader, is you can learn almost more in seasons where you have a really bad leader than when you have a great leader. It's all in how you choose to use that time. It's all in how you choose to see the situation you're in. For example, when you have a really bad leader, or if you don't agree with how they're doing things, perhaps more valuable than getting the lessons of how to do it from a great leader is just learning what not to do, learning what really does not connect, what does not resonate. So that would be my message there. But absolutely, man, some of my favorite leaders I'm still in touch with today, and I'm fortunate I'm still able to text them or email them, or we see each other on social media, and it's really cool that same professor that supported me, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I see them out there liking and sharing and commenting on my social media posts today.
That's amazing.
And what that does for me is that inspires me to do the same thing for people that perhaps I was their leader coming up through the ranks, or my clients that I've gotten to know really well, or we've created a relationship, a personal connection. That kind of thing, when I get that from my leaders, it inspires me to be that same type of person for other people in my life.
If there is one key career lesson that you learned the hard way, what would it be that you can share with us?
Yeah, is be serious about the work you do, but don't take yourself too seriously. So be serious about the role you have. Be serious about how you show up to do that with integrity and focus and urgency, but don't take yourself too seriously. Because when we do that, we tend to put too much of the focus on ourselves. And so now we're that much more likely to be disappointed when things don't go exactly our way, or to take things personally when decisions are made that we don't agree with, or things people say that we believe are about us, or in retaliation to something we might have said, but maybe it's not that as much as it is us thinking about ourselves far too much. So that would be probably number one, is be serious about what you're doing, but don't take yourself too seriously. And the reason that I believe in that, if I could go back and tell my 25 years ago self, is what that will do, what that kind of mindset will do. It will keep you open. It will help you to keep what Carol Dweck teaches us is a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset. So growth mindset is, even if I try something new and it doesn't work out, even if I put myself out there and I'm trying to get that job or I'm trying to do that new book or whatever the case, even if it doesn't work, a growth mindset helps us go, you know what? This might not have worked out how I wanted it to, but look at all these things I'm learning. And then getting comfortable, getting uncomfortable like that, just like working out or running, any types of long distance. We're in the marathon season right now. You guys just had the New York City Marathon yesterday. So like that for an athlete, the same is true for leaders. When we can get comfortable getting uncomfortable, those are the seasons that we grow. And so that's what I would say to anybody out there, whether you're an up-and-comer or a seasoned leader out here, that you've been out here working and doing this type of stuff for 5, 10, 15, 20, or even longer than that, 25 years or so, is never lose sight of that, having that growth mindset. Be serious about what you're doing, but don't take yourself too seriously.
Is there a book, a show, a movie that helped you shape your career perspective over the years?
Yeah, it was 2003, 2004. And I was a front desk manager at Disney's Pop Century Resort in Orlando, right there at Walt Disney World. And it was the first resort to open, first new constructed, new build to open after the tragic events of 9/11 in 2001. So it was a very special time. And there was a lot of talent on that team. I was grateful to be a part of it. I had left and worked at Gaylord Palms Resort and Convention Center for a couple of years. And then I came back to Disney to open Disney's Pop Century Resort. And I was doing that thing where I was taking it way too seriously. And I would call my mom after work every day and just frustrated about all the ways it wasn't perfect yet. And I would lament and I would vent to her. She sent me my favorite book to this day. She said, sounds like somebody needs to take the focus off of themselves and put it on other people. She says, I'm going to send you a book. And this is how I would answer your question. The book is The Fred Factor by Mark Sanborn. And the book is about, and Mark Sanborn is a Hall of Fame keynote speaker. He's a New York Times best-selling author. That book, The Fred Factor, has sold over 2.6 million copies internationally and domestically. And the book is about a real-life mailman named Fred that Mark Sanborn had as his mailman back in the mid-'80s when Mark moved to Denver, Colorado for the first time. He gets a knock on his door, and it was this guy, short fella, and he says, hi, Mr. Sanborn, my name is Fred. I'm your mailman. I just stopped by to introduce myself, find out a little bit more about you, what you do for a living, and how I can be of service to you. And then Mark's taken aback. He's like, well, thanks, Fred. I appreciate that. I've never had a personal introduction to my mailman before, but he went with it. And so Mark told him, look, I'm a keynote speaker. I travel a lot. I'm out of town, 200 days a year. And Fred says, that's great for me to know. Here's what I'll do. I will keep your mail with me. If you'll give me your schedule, I'll know when you're going to be in town. And then I'll keep your mail with me, and I'll only deliver it when I know you're going to be home. Otherwise, if I put mail in your box and it overflows, burglars might see that, and you could be at risk of getting robbed. The book then unfolds. It's only like 110, 120 pages. And the book is 4 life-changing principles we can all learn from Fred the Postman. And I've found those life-changing principles to literally be life-changing for me. And I've got my own books now. I'm still selling this guy's book. And I love him. He gave me the opportunity earlier in my career, about 12, 13 years ago, to actually do keynotes on his behalf. So he taught me how to do keynotes. He taught me how to deliver the Fred message. And I did that back in 2012, 2013. And so I would recommend that book. And it's called The Fred Factor. It's how passion, creativity, and commitment can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. And that book came out over 20 years ago, and the lessons and principles are transferable across time. They're transferable across cultures. They're transferable across industries. And I believe now more than ever, those same 4 life-changing principles, and I won't tell everybody what those are. I'll encourage you to go get the book and find out.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, if you had a chance to go back history, to what time period would you like to go back, and why?
Such a great question. I don't really know how to narrow that down. There's so much I'm interested in, and there's so much I appreciate about history. My wife and I just got back from a vacation, for example, in Italy. We were there for a week, Venice, Florence, and Rome. And so just some of the stuff that we learned about, crazy stuff in the Renaissance, like back, medieval times, like how things were back then. That's crazy, man. There's some crazy stuff that went on. So I don't think I would want to go back to that. I really don't. So it's probably a boring answer, but I would say this is probably really boring, but I mean, I'd say like the early to mid 90s, knowing what I know now, going back and reliving that. I'm a big basketball fan. So like going back to the Michael Jordan Bulls, going back to the heyday of Kentucky college basketball, University of Kentucky. So I just, after experiencing these last 20 years, I think I'd go back to the 90s to really appreciate not only the era in sports we were living through, but if you think about also what was going on, some really formidable stuff in the way of like diversity and appreciating other people that might not look like us. They might not be from where we're from. They might have different perspectives and different backgrounds. Even though we have so much more work to do as we sit here today in 2025, I really do believe we've made so much progress in terms of accepting people from all different races and places and orientations. So I'd almost want to go back to the 90s with the perspectives that many of us have learned between then and now, and implement some of these progressive type thinking, some inclusive type thinking then, so that we'd be much further along today than even we are right now.
I appreciate the answer. Thank you very much. Well, sometimes at work, things are not going in our way. Sometimes we have challenging times and difficulties for different reasons. How to stay motivated and inspired in times of challenges and difficulties at work?
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things to do. And this is why I say three things. Ready? Feed your mind, feed your body, and feed your soul. So we can never, like Rick Warren, Pastor Rick Warren, he wrote The Purpose-Driven Life, 28 million copies sold. A few more copies than I have or will ever sell of any book. But Pastor Rick Warren, he's quoted as saying, never, as a leader, like never stop learning. When we stop learning, we stop leading. And in many ways, leadership starts with our ability to lead ourselves. And so if we're really going to continue to grow as leaders, we can never stop feeding our mind. So it's thinking about proactively and strategically, what can I read? What can I listen to, whether it's audiobooks or podcasts, just like this one. Feed your mind, feed your body. We gotta eat right. We got to get the proper nutrition. We got to get fed both intellectually and spiritually and emotionally, but we also got to get fed physically. We got to eat the right things, set ourselves up for success so that our mind and body and our spirit can all work together. And then work out, keeping physically active, get out here and move, get outside. Like that stuff's real. Fresh air, vitamin D, it is real for mental health. And then feed your soul. We aren't talking about that enough. I believe in corporate America is creating space for people, whether you're a white boy from Kentucky like me, whether you're Latina, Latino, Asian American, Indian, Black, white, Puerto Rican, whatever, gay, straight, transgender. I'm not even saying like I want to preach and everybody believe in the same Jesus or God that I do as a Christian. I just say we got to all find our version of that. Believe in a higher power and believe in something greater than yourselves that will feel and fuel your soul. It can also be things like joining community groups. Like this leadership can be lonely, man. And entrepreneurship is very lonely. All the more reason we've got to be proactive and seek out people that believe what we believe. We also got to seek out groups that we can be a part of that might have some diversity of thought, so that we can continue feeding our soul. And it comes from literally being that generosity undertone there of how can we give our time, how can we give our talent, and how can we give our heart to other people or other initiatives or missions. So being a part of something bigger than ourselves. Feed your mind, feed your body, and feed your soul. And when we do that, we're going to always be able to find it. We're going to always be able to find that next gear, to do it anyway, to get out of bed when we don't really want to do the workout when we're tired, to do the meetings, the podcast, the initiatives, the work when we're not really feeling it. But if you stay motivated, feed your mind, feed your body, feed your soul, you're going to be in good shape. You're going to be able to do that a lot better than if you didn't feed your mind, feed your body, and feed your soul.
What is your career advice for the next generation, especially those who are just entering into the job market?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, I'll answer it this way. My whole thing, lead with hospitality. My whole platform comes from this sentiment. My publisher called me, Matt Holt. He called me like a month before Lead with Hospitality came out in April of 2021. And at the time, my subtitle was like really long, first time author, second time author, first time with a real publisher. And I was like, I am still learning how to package things properly. And so at the time it was Lead with Hospitality, how to, it was like it's a big paragraph. So Matt Holt calls me and he's like, what are we going to do with this subtitle, man? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. You're the editor. You're the publisher. He's like, no. What do you want people to know? What do you want people to be able to look at it and just know, here's what Lead with Hospitality means? I'm like, dude, all I know is I've been out here over 20 years. I've had some great leaders, some bad leaders, and a lot of leaders in between. And the best leaders I've ever had, the best seasons of life at work and in life were when I had people around me, when I had leaders and teachers and coaches. They were just incredibly human. They were relatable. And they helped me emotionally connect to the work. And they were emotionally connected with me. And better, they emotionally connected me and all the team to the overarching mission. And then they just served selflessly. Like they just served us before they asked us to do anything. And my publisher goes, nice talking to you, man. We got our subtitle. And that's how I would answer this question. It's be human, emotionally connect, and serve selflessly, no matter who you are, what age you are, what level of leadership you're in. Because of all the differences we all have, the one thing we have in common is we're all human beings. So you can never go wrong with being human, emotionally connecting with people, and serving people selflessly. And I believe that will help you not only get noticed, get selected, and get into that next job, but it'll help you create two things at once, both money and meaning at the same time.
For those who like to continue this conversation, also like to learn more about your company, your services, what is the best way to be in touch with you?
Leadwithhospitality.com. Visit us at leadwithhospitality.com. All of our stuff is on there, whether it be keynote experiences, live learning experiences for leaders, frontline teams, up-and-coming leaders. You can find books and resources on there. And you can email me at taylor@leadwithhospitality.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, Taylor Scott, and then also on Instagram at tscott1502. I look forward to connecting with everybody.
Taylor, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. It was a great conversation. We learned a lot from you today, that's for sure. Thank you for sharing your professional insights and your professional wisdom with us today. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, and happy holidays to everybody. And really wish everybody all the best. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Happy holidays, and I wish you a great week.
Back to you. Thank you. See ya.
Well, to our audience and to our listeners, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. That was actually very educational. As always, we learned a lot from Taylor Scott, and it was also a great opportunity for us to refresh our minds in terms of how to be a leader and how to continuously improve ourselves on a daily basis, even though we are busy, even though there are challenges, even though there is hardship sometimes at work or in our career, in our lives. So that was a great opportunity for us to learn from Taylor. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I enjoyed a lot. I also learned something new, as I always do in these episodes. These are really educational episodes that we put together, and experts like Taylor Scott help us learn from the same from different points of view that we can learn, and we can also improve ourselves as professionals. That's a great opportunity for all of us in the American Business Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you'd like to be a guest in the American Business Podcast, you can just send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We also welcome advertisers and sponsors, those who like to promote their businesses and services. You are more than welcome. Please send us an email for this purpose, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com, and we respond pretty quickly, and we can continue the conversation accordingly. We are looking forward to partnering companies, organizations, as well as nonprofits, as we have sometimes guests from nonprofits as well, that we like to also promote your services as well as your cause. The easiest way to be in touch with us is the email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. Also, I like to invite you to our website, americanpodcast.tv. You can see our coming schedule. You can learn about our coming guests as well as subjects that we will cover. You can also learn more about the American Business Podcast and the team that we put together, and bringing you these informative and educational episodes on weekly basis. As you know, we got YouTube Silver Award as the American Business Podcast because we passed 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan this QR code and you can subscribe our YouTube channel. We truly appreciate it. And if you feel more generous, you can also put your comments in the chat box and share your thoughts and your feedback. Your interactions are also very important for us, and we welcome it. We're really happy to hear from you. Well, the Connection America online networking event is coming up. As you know, the online networking event that we put together is really unique. And what is unique about it is that you can network with other business professionals. At the same time, you'll be live on the American Business Podcast. That's what makes it unique. And I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan this QR code. It'll take you to our registration page, and you can sign up. We have limited seating. I hope you join us. You meet with other business professionals. You introduce yourself, your company, your products and services, and you'll be in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast followers, subscribers, and audience. So that's a great opportunity to introduce your company, promote your services. I hope you join us. As you know, last month we started our membership program, the American Business Podcast membership program, ABP membership. And with this membership program, you can support the American Business Podcast. And we also put together different benefits for different types of membership programs that we put together as a token of appreciation. If you scan this QR code, it'll take you to our membership page. You can see different types of memberships that we put together and different benefits that you can enjoy. And we truly appreciate your support as the American Business Podcast team. This membership program, we started already registering new members. Also, thank you for your support. If you haven't done so, please scan this QR code. At least take a look at the American Business Podcast membership options. And any of them that may work for you, please pick the one that you like and support the American Business Podcast. All right, what else is happening? Let's talk about our sponsors, Ms. Excel. If you like to learn Excel and other Microsoft business software systems in a fun and engaging way, consider Ms. Excel. I have the QR code on the screen. You can see their catalog. They have actually a growing teaching program listed on their website. You can see. And also, you can register right there on their website. Before you check out, make sure you use the discount code ABP 2025. And this code will help you get a discount from the American Business Podcast. If you are in the market for an ERP software system, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. That's an accounting system followed by purchasing, operations, and other functionalities that you can run all in one software platform. please consider iTech Consultant. iTech is specialized in SAP and Oracle ERP services, implementation, and support. I have their QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, it'll take you to their website. You can learn from the company, and when you get in touch with them, make sure you heard about them from the American Business Podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the coming The American Business Podcast episode. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. Thank you very much, and have a great week.
This is the American Business Podcast for the next generation, ABP, with Kevin DeVecchi. ABP is a popular business podcast with thousands of subscribers on YouTube. The American Business Podcast community is growing fast. Thank you for your support. Subscribe ABP's YouTube channel today. The American Business Podcast is coming to you from the center of the global business world, New York City. With new educational business content is coming to you every week. Visit the official website for more information and corporate sponsorship opportunities at www.americanpodcast.tv today. To be a guest at the American Business Podcast, email us at americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com.